You're watching and listening to The Daily Living Show with D. Elias.
On today's episode of Daily Living, I have Dr. V with me, and we all are trying to de-stress and recoup from the holidays. So today's topic is going to be dealing with stress and anxiety. Dr. V, thank you for joining me today. It's good to have you back.
It's good to be here.
Thank you. So tell us, because this is a very stressing time of year, just in general, what are some ways that that we can cope and deal with stress and anxiety that we've been going through?
That's a really great question. So many of us have so much stress when it comes through, when it comes to trying to make it through the holidays. And those stressors can be, anything from old triggers of, family deaths or divorces, or things that happened around the holiday time, or that you're missing someone who has, left you, to just the stress of trying to manage all the family coming in, or which family are we going to go visit this year. There are many, many different reasons why people can have added stress.
Right.
But it can become very unhealthy and not a fun time of year. If we keep going through a cycle like this every single year, year after year after year, and now that we're in the beginning of 2020, I think the first step is to look back on your life, look back and connect the dots, because you can't connect the dots looking forward, but you can very easily connect the dots looking back. And let's step back for a minute and let's see what has been happening over the last 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years around the holidays. Are you seeing a reoccurring pattern of these stressors, of these triggers that are happening to you around the holiday time? And if you're seeing that, then let's acknowledge, what's causing it. And then let's make some changes so that we don't have that for Christmas, for Christmas and Thanksgiving and other holidays, for 2020. And we also want to work on doing some decompression. And a lot of the things that we end up doing after the holidays to try to cover up the stress are exactly the things that we don't want to do.
Absolutely.
Like laying on the couch after work, we're exhausted, so we're just plopping down on the couch. We're exhausted, we're not doing anything. We're eating out and we're not cooking the right foods. We're drinking alcohol. Instead we should be doing some major detox resets as we go into January to clean up your body and give your body the nutrients that it needs to recover from the stress that has literally changed your body chemistry. We want to do some meditation. We want to go out for an hour of walks every day. We want to, start a gratitude journal for 2020. And because you are what you focus on. And you were focusing on all the stress. And, if you were focusing on all the stress and all the sadness and all the things that were going on over the holidays, don't continue focusing on that, because then you're going to stay stuck in that for the entire year. And then you're going to be like this next year and the year after. Instead, start a gratitude journal and start writing about the things that you are grateful for, and start focusing on what you do want.
Right. If you start every day thinking positive things happen. But if you start your day off in a negative manner, then that's what, you attract negativity. So you can either attract positive or negative.
That's so true. That's so true. And that's another thing to look back on over the last year, over the last couple of years in your life. If you were to step outside yourself and look at yourself, are you easy to be around?
Right.
Do people like to be around you? When you're around your friends, are you guys complaining all the time? Are you talking about the same things year after year? Or are you seeing growth and change in your life? And are you and your friends talking about, positive things? Are you lifting each other up? Are you lifting up other people? That's a really good way to get a conscious visualization of what's going on in your life. And if you don't see yourself where you want to be, then you can make the change. But you first have to realize where you are. So, I remember a time in my life, many of the most positive people, the most vibrant people that you've ever seen, even power couples, all these people that you're like, oh my God, gosh, I wish I could be like them. Like, they're always happy all the time. Well, you know what? They work at it. And I'll bet you that they've had some, really stressful, traumatic things that have happened in their lives too. But they became conscious of their thought patterns and the patterns that they were in, and they started to make changes. So I was there once, and I remember, I can look back and I remember, the way that I was and the type of people that I was hanging around, and we were always complaining about the same things, and we were always sad about the same things, and we were covering it up with, drinking wine at the end of the day instead of going out for a walk. We were complaining to each other so that we could get it off our chest instead of writing in a gratitude journal. I'm so far from that now. Everybody that I hang around now, we're all super positive, forward thinkers. We write in our gratitude journals, we meditate, we eat right, we make ourselves go out and do exercise. We have good sleep hygiene, we do all these things. And you know what? It took a lot of work to get there.
It does. It's like
not easy to change.
Right. It's like changing your whole perspective in life.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I have learned throughout the years, I start my morning every morning by putting up my guard, as I call it, GARD. And I focus on no gossip, don't hold in anger, don't hold resentment, and don't have any drama in your life. And when I started doing that and focusing on that every morning and holding myself to that all throughout the day, I probably feel better right now than I felt in 15 years.
It makes a huge shift in your perspective of life. When you do those things, you start to fog up your glasses, so to speak, and you're looking through foggy lenses, and you're looking at life and your friends and yourself through a very skewed perspective. And if we can start making these changes that you and I are talking about as we go into 2020, and for all of you listening, it takes work. It's not a try it for a week. You need to make a commitment to do it for a year. And that's when you're going to start seeing massive opportunities come your way. It's when you're going to start seeing your health change. It's when your friends are going to change. It's okay to shed the tree of those leaves and even a few branches here and there, because, not all of your friends are going to grow with you. And if they're not growing with you, and that goes with family members too. If they're holding you back from positive growth in your life, then, it's time to move forward and shed those leaves and shed those branches. Absolutely. And allow for the universe to bring you people who are going to enlighten you and lift you up in your life. And so, yeah, absolutely. When you start doing that, the lenses of your glasses become very, very clear.
Right. That's exactly right. And, oftentimes, if they don't treat the stress and anxiety, it leads to depression.
Oh, absolutely it does. Stress can lead to anxiety, and the anxiety can lead to depression. And we know that stress not only changes your body chemistry, like it changes your metabolism, like your ability to metabolize your carbohydrates and your sugars. So you can end up gaining weight because it's making your body throw a lot of that stress hormone called cortisol. And the more cortisol, that you keep creating in your body that's in excess, that's not needed, it starts to change your metabolism. So you'll start gaining weight. It also can constrict your blood vessels and raise your blood pressure. It also can start changing your reproductive hormones. So it can lower your testosterone. So if you're a man, you're going to lose your libido when you're stressed. That's why a lot of times when you're stressed, whether you're a man or a woman, you lose your libido. Like that's the last thing that you're thinking of. And women, it shifts their hormones also and can make them like less able to become pregnant. It can throw off their periods. It can make them feel bad, and it throws off your brain chemistry. And so once it starts setting off this terrible domino effect of these changes in your body chemistry and your brain chemistry, then you start feeling anxious. And then the anxiety makes the stress even worse, which creates even more of a change in your body chemistry. And then you start feeling depression. And that's when you can get yourself into a big rabbit hole that you can't get yourself out of.
Right. Are there certain foods that if they are feeling stress, anxiety, or extremely depressed, are there certain foods that are more calming to the nervous system?
Absolutely. And, that's where we talked about that, touched on that at the very beginning of our conversation, is that when people are stressed, a lot of people will stress eat, or some
Yes.
people won't eat at all.
Binge eat, right.
So, it's usually one extreme or the other. I remember when I was highly stressed, I just wouldn't eat. So I wasn't putting any gas in the car.
Right.
And that was causing just as bad of changes as if I had been eating badly. But then others of us, we'll go for the fast food. We'll eat a whole bag of chips. We'll eat that pint of ice cream. We're just putting in foods that have no nutritional value, but they are full of ingredients and types of calories that are harmful to the body. And so, if you're filling your body, for example, with, breads, and sugars, that's definitely going to cause an alteration in your body chemistry and your brain chemistry. And gluten is already known to cause a lot of problems in people's body chemistry and brain chemistry. And when you're going for fast foods and things that are full of preservatives, like packaged, I don't know, Twinkies or Ho-Hos or chips that you'll buy at the store, Oreo cookies, just like, things that are full of ingredients that you can't even pronounce. Those are super toxic to the body and the brain. And so, you want to always stay away from things like that.
Right.
When you feel the sickest, that is a sign, when you're feeling the most stressed out and your body starts, and you make those choices, you need to become conscious and understand that what your body is saying to you is, help. I need you to slow down. I need you to take a deep breath. And I need you to give me some self-love because I'm feeling neglected right now.
Right.
And I need some love. And, you're not going to be able to take care of everybody else, your husband, your children, your coworkers. You're not going to be able to take care of everybody else if you don't stop and take care of me. Help me. But people misinterpret those signals and they start doing the opposite things. They start drinking more. They start, taking Tylenol PM because they can't sleep. They start just eating crappy foods. They're laying around the couch because they're exhausted. They're doing, and they're focusing on their anger and they're focusing on their stress instead of turning and going in the other direction.
Right.
And so if we can retrain people to go in the opposite direction and to understand that that the direction they're going in is going to make them worse. And instead what their body needs is more self-love, more self-care. That's going to help people to pull out of that faster. Food is the foundation of everyone's health, whether it's mental or physical. Your food is the foundation for your health. So You've got to eat healthy. You want to eat organic as much as possible. And you want to stay around the outer edge of the grocery store. Take some time to prepare your own foods. That is showing self-love. It's showing love for your family, right? It's showing that you care for yourself, that you're respecting yourself. When you take the time to shop for your healthy foods and make the time to enjoy the process of doing your food prep, getting your foods ready for you and your kids and your husband or your wife for the week, that's showing that you care for yourself. We are the worst at giving ourselves self-love and self-care.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons that we're so sick.
Right. As a mother, especially young mothers with small children, everybody's focused on everyone else and they tend to neglect themselves.
Yeah, we do that. That's, we're not taught the importance of caring for ourselves first. Somehow we have all been raised to think that it's selfish somehow. Innately, we think it's selfish that we have to give and give. But the reality is that if you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to be able to have a quality of life with your children and your grandchildren. And you and I you know, like I'm a grandparent, you're getting ready to become a grandparent, correct?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
you know, I can tell all the listeners out there, guys, I neglected myself. I almost died twice. And now I've got a beautiful step granddaughter that's just turned 6. And I have a baby grandson who's 6 months old.
Oh,
And guess what? Not only am I here, thank God, that I learned how to take care of myself. And that's why I've
absolutely.
dedicated my life to helping others. But I have a quality of life. I taught my 6-year-old granddaughter how to ski over Thanksgiving holiday. And I am going, you know, I am more motivated than ever to continue taking care of myself so that I have the ability to give back to my family, to give them the love and to give them the memories. I don't want to give them memories of, you know, that I died
Right.
10 years ago, you know, and they're without me. Or I don't want to give them memories of the burden of having to take care of me when I'm in a wheelchair, or, you know, we all go to vacation together, but I have to sit on the couch the whole day because I can't do anything.
Right.
You know, that is selfish.
That's
You know,
right.
running yourself into the ground and not investing in yourself,
Right.
or having the perception that you can't afford to take care of yourself,
Mhm.
is the most selfish thing that you can ever do for your family. You need to
Absolutely.
take care of yourself, and you need to invest in yourself. And you know, it's so funny. I had a friend who was very interested in becoming a patient. And when we started talking about it, and we ordered some labs for her, and we started talking about what it was going to take to take care of her, she said, "Oh, I can't afford that right now. You know, we've got one kid going into college next year, and then another one the year after that." And then I see her post on Facebook. You know, they just bought a whole bunch of new furniture for their house. They just did a big vacation.
Right.
She just bought a brand new car. And I'm thinking, okay, you know, you're not paying for it now, but you're going to pay
Right.
for it later. And so for those of you listening, you know, everybody and anybody can afford to take care of themselves. The question is are you going to pay for it now? Or are you going to pay for it later? Are you going to wait till you're in
Absolutely.
the hospital and you have to get the heart, you know, the stent put in your heart, you know, or you end up really, really sick and you end up, you know, in a mental health facility or
Mhm.
whatever, because trust me, you're going to pay way more for it then. Plus you're going to
Absolutely.
have that mark on your record, you know, versus paying for it now. And
Right.
so, you know, it's all about, you know, if you're feeling stressed and you know that it's not making you feel well, and you see this happening over and over and over again every year, and you're not feeling well, and you're feeling fatigued, and you're feeling some depression, and you have whatever, thyroid issues, you can't lose weight, you've got some sort of autoimmune issue, you know, you've got some sort of mental health issue or neurodegenerative disease, you need to start taking action now. Because if you don't take action now, you know, you're going to be forced to take action later.
Right. I know there's a small group of people, but I do know a few people that just simply enjoy bad health.
Yeah.
But what they don't realize is it affects the entire family.
It does affect the entire family. And at some point, they're gonna wish that they had not made those choices.
Right.
You know, you can only run your body hard like that. You know, you can only abuse your body for so long before you're going to end up literally not being able to function anymore. And you know, my message to all of those out there who are listening is, for God's sakes, don't wait until you end up there. And if you are already there, you know, then, you know, you can do something about it. If what you're doing right now isn't working for you, look outside the box. If you're going the traditional medical route and you're still struggling, then, you know, think outside the box. Say to yourself, oh my God, this isn't working. I've been
Right.
doing this for 3 years. I'm on more medicines now than I was 3 years ago or 5 years
Mhm.
ago, and I'm worse now. You know, maybe I should look at this holistic stuff. Maybe I should go and see a functional medicine doc. Maybe it is time for me to invest in my own health because what I'm doing isn't working. So if you're already there, you know, and your doctors put you on this medicine saying that you're going to be on it for a lifetime, you have the choice whether you're going to accept that or not. You have the choice whether you're going to believe that or not. And if you're on your way there, you might want to heavily consider, making a turnaround before you end up getting there.
Right. Are there vitamins or supplements if they are going through a really tough time in their life, divorce or a death in the family, that could help with the stress and anxiety as well?
Sure, there are. So when your body is going through a lot of stress, your body will burn through the gas faster. In other words, when you're running the car hard, it's going to burn through the gas faster. When you're running your body hard, i.e., a lot of stress, and you're burning the candle at both ends, you're burning through your vitamins and minerals a lot faster. You need to make sure, first of all, that you're drinking a purified, stay away from tap water. That's a whole nother conversation.
Right.
Drink a purified, like a reverse osmosis water. Make sure that you're getting plenty of electrolytes and minerals. You can buy electrolytes at the store or online. Make sure that they have very low sugar, that they're only sweetened, like less than a gram of sugar, or
Right.
make sure that it's sweetened with something like monk fruit or stevia, and
Mhm.
put the electrolytes in your water. It'll flavor it and make it taste delicious, right? People burn through their B vitamins very, very quickly when they're stressed out. So a good multivitamin like a good multi-B complex would be great. If you can find one that has the methylfolate and methyl B12 inside of that B complex, choose that over a regular B complex. Don't get your vitamins at Walgreens. Don't
Right.
get your vitamins at Costco or Walmart. Get your vitamins from a good source. Get your vitamins from a good source. Thorne, I believe, is a brand that has recently gone direct to consumer. And so for those of you listening, if you're not working with a practitioner like myself who can get you access to really good supplements, Thorne, Thorne, I believe they have gone direct to consumer. So, try that brand, because I know that that's a
Okay.
good brand of supplements that you can use. A lot of people are already deficient in their vitamin D to begin with. I would say 95% of the United States population is low in their vitamin D, and you need it so that your teeth don't fall out. You need it so that the calcium can move into your bones.
Right.
Otherwise, the calcium gets deposited in your arteries and you end up with this plaquing in your arteries. If you're listening to this and your doctor has told you that you got plaquing in your arteries, you should go back and look at your vitamin D levels. And if it's not between 60 and 100, then you're low in vitamin D. Now, the Western medicine standard for what is considered normal for vitamin D is between 30 and 100. But I can tell you that if you're down to 30 or 40 in your vitamin D, that's not enough for you to be healthy. It's enough to keep you from getting a disease. It's enough to keep you from, to keep your teeth from falling out eventually, right? But it's not enough to keep you healthy. And your body uses vitamin D, it uses all your B vitamins, it uses all these different ingredients
Right.
for specific reasons. And so, take a good 5,000 IU of vitamin D with vitamin K every single day. Keep your levels between 60 and 100. And then on top of taking the methylated B complex and a good vitamin D K supplement, also take a multi. And then don't forget to, add those electrolytes back in. And you can take some adaptogens that will help calm your adrenals down. So adaptogens a good example would be ashwagandha. That's a really good adaptogen that is very calming to the adrenals. But taking supplements alone is not going to stop the stress. You
Right.
need to work on your breathing. You need to work on your mindset.
Yes.
You need to stop focusing on what's bothering you and focus on solutions and focus on what you're happy about, and stop focusing on what's bothering you all the time. Like if something's bothering you, do something about it, take action.
Right.
And then also see about, do I just need to change my mindset, or do I need some help? Do I need some coaching to help? Because maybe you've had a trauma and you can't seem to get past that trauma, and it's changed who you are as a human being. Like when my father committed suicide, it changed who I was.
Right.
And it literally made me sick. And that's what led me almost to committing suicide myself twice. And so I finally was able to sit back and go, whoa, wait a minute. I don't have to be stuck in my thoughts. I have power over my thoughts.
Right.
I can rise above this. I'm focusing on the loss and the grief and everything I've lost. I'm focusing on my sickness. I'm focusing on all this, but wait a minute. I'm stuck in this pattern. I can step out of it. And as soon as I stepped out of it, which was scary because I had been stuck in it for so long, as soon as I stepped out of it, I realized that I needed help with these traumas that I had undergone. And so I started getting help for that. I got a couple of different therapies. One, I learned about tapping therapy.
Mm-hmm.
I also learned about EMDR therapy, and I learned about resonance repatterning therapy. And that literally changed my life. It helped me to break those chains of bondage that were holding me down from all of the traumas that I had been through, and then the sickness that had followed after that.
Wow. Ashwagandha, and did you say, was there another herbal supplement to add to it as well? One of the things that I wanted to go back, in addition to a multivitamin, you should also take 5,000 IUs of vitamin D per day.
Well, most of the vitamin Ds out there on the market, if you're not getting it through a practitioner, most of them are around 800 IU, maybe 1,000 IU or 1,200 IU.
Enough.
But if you're already deficient in your vitamin D, there's no way that you're going to bring your vitamin D up. Right. And I can tell you that clinically, working with with patients and clients, 95% of them are on 10,000 IU a day to maintain a level right around 80 or 90, or some of them I want them up at 100 because they've had cancer previously or they've had autoimmune disease. So I want them up at 100 for a very specific therapeutic reason. And that's how much they have to take just to maintain that level. So you can imagine if they drop down to 1,200 IU a day, their vitamin D is going to dip. Now, if you're not working with a practitioner or you're not monitoring your own vitamin D levels, you can go to labs now, direct to consumer labs, like Ulta Labs, ULTA.com, Ulta Labs, and you can order your own vitamin D and you can take a look at it and see what it looks like. So,
but if you can do testing at home.
There are a lot of direct to consumer labs available now. Yes, there are a lot of them all around the country. Just go online and look. There are a lot of different lab companies, and in some cities, there are even like local ones that you can literally walk into. Wow. And you can say, hey, I want to test my vitamin D, or hey, I want to test my, my lipid panel, to look at my cholesterol or whatever.
Right.
And that's really great because you can be your own advocate. And, I don't tell anyone who's not working with a practitioner to take 10,000 IU a day, because, what if you're that one person that 10,000 a day is a little bit too much, and then your vitamin D levels go too high. Right. That's why I just say, 5,000 is a safe amount that you can take each day. 5,000 is called 5,000 IU, 5,000 international units. Vitamin D is not dosed in milligrams. It's dosed in IU, which is a smaller unit of measurement.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. And then the methylated B complex is really, really good. Yeah. And then the ashwagandha is just really nice. It's a very nice calming agent. It helps calm the adrenal glands. But again, you've got to do the work around it. You can't sit around and keep circling in your head with the mind racing about all of the things that are bad going on. You want to start taking action on those, do some breathing, breathing and meditation exercises. Go sign up for a yoga class now that we're in 2020. Yoga is amazing because, especially for people that are out of shape, let me tell you all the benefits of yoga that can help with stress and anxiety, and even thoracic benefits, cardio benefits. Yoga is such a powerful tool for the body that it can not only, help you with your flexibility and toning of your body, which a lot of people are familiar with. It actually teaches you how to breathe so that you can calm yourself down. Right. So you can bring yourself out of fight or flight. And breath is everything. Breath is, so many people don't have normal breathing patterns. Most people don't even take a full breath. And when they're stressed, they don't even realize it, but they're kind of like holding their breath. They're holding their breath. They're not taking full breaths. And so, and you also get cardio benefits. everybody thinks that they have to do high intensity exercise, or they've got to go jogging to get, or they got to do jazzercise or Zumba or something like that to get a cardio. And a lot of people, especially if they're really out of shape and exhausted, are like, oh my God, I'm not going to do that. Like, I can't even make it to,
Right.
I can't even make it to the mailbox. There's no way.
Absolutely.
But you can do yoga, and believe it or not, you may not, like, you're not going to feel out of breath when you do it, but you are getting cardio benefits out of it. You are getting cardio benefits out of it. I went to a scientific conference that was all around yoga. And there were these scientists from all over the world that came to this conference who were showing studies on the physiological benefits and the physiological, the body chemistry changes that happen when you do yoga 2 to 3 times a week on a regular basis. And it was incredible, the changes, the physiological changes and improvements that we saw in the body just from doing yoga just 2 to 3 times a week.
Wow.
And so, that's something that for those of you that are really out of shape, you're exhausted all the time, you're stressed all the time, go and sign up for yoga. And it doesn't matter. Don't be looking around you and going, oh my God, I can't get into that position. I can't do this. No. When you go to a yoga class, everybody is at their own level. Go to a beginning class, and even in the beginning class, some people will be at your level and some people will be, you're seeing that they're able to do the positions easier.
Right.
But don't get comparisitis. This is about you. It's not about them.
Mm-hmm.
And your yoga instructor will show you what modified positions you can get into. And if you stay consistent with it, the next thing you know, you're going to be from a modified position into a regular position, and you're going to be like rocking it out in your yoga class. But you need to be consistent with it. And that's an amazing therapy that you can do for stress.
Wow.
That's gonna help your body in so many different ways.
Right. So no matter what health ailments or condition, if you're totally out of shape, yoga is a very, sometimes when you think of yoga, you think of strenuous.
You think of what?
Strenuous, like you pound, a lot of people that have, for instance, if they have a bad back or something,
Yoga's great for
Right.
anyone who's had physical injuries. Yoga's great. Let me share a little story with you. So it was about 3 years ago. I went on a trip with my son. We went down to the Amazon, and we did a 3-day trek through the Amazon. And it was about a 30-mile trek. Now, the Amazon, many people are going to think it's flat. It's, the soil is moist and it's like a flat, trek. It's not like that at all. To get to the Amazon, we had to traverse mountains. And it was rocky and it was hot and the ground was hard. And then once we got into the jungle, there were some flat areas, but there were still mountains and there were rivers to cross. And it was not an easy journey. And I ended up having some severe injuries, and I picked up a viral infection while I was in the jungle. And I had to be transported out of there because I got very, very sick while I was in there and couldn't even walk because of the injuries to my feet. And the only way out of the jungle was on donkey or on foot. Because helicopters couldn't get in there, cars couldn't get in there. It was in the thick of the Amazon.
Right.
And I ended up, getting back to the United States, and I was almost crippled for almost 2 years.
Oh, wow.
I could barely, and this was recently. This was like 3 years ago. I mean, it was a year and 3 months ago that I was finally able to walk again. So, and I had to do a lot of work to rehab my body physically. And I'm almost 50. So it's like, it takes a little longer as you get older. It takes just a little bit longer, but the injuries were so severe that it took a while. Well, what had happened was the foot injuries were so bad, and I wasn't able to walk or even really stand, that it started then causing problems with my hips, and then with my back. And I went to work one day and sat down, before I started with patients, and I bent over to plug in the computer, and I threw my back out. And it was so bad, I had to be carried back to my apartment. I had to be carried back, and I had to be put into a wheelchair, and I was just writhing in pain. And it was just super, super severe. Well, I had a therapist come to the house and work on me for 2 hours just so that I could just like lay there and not be dying in pain because everything
Right.
had spasmed up so bad. It was very, very scary. But guess what I did after that? And I should have done it sooner. I started doing yoga, and I started doing
Mm,
hot yoga. And I was depressed because of the injuries. And so I
mm,
wasn't really doing a whole lot. I was just throwing myself into my work instead of into myself.
right.
So I wasn't necessarily doing like unhealthy things like drinking and eating crappy, but I was throwing myself into my work so that I could bury the feelings of depression that I had because I wasn't able to walk.
Right.
And so but I was being inactive. I wasn't moving. Well, shame on me. It ended up turning into from just a foot injury to back and hip issues.
Right.
And so I went and started doing yoga, and the yoga made it. That was the beginning of my journey back to health. It started healing me because it started getting the flexibility back and the strength in my core and all of the breathing exercises. It was helping me to reframe my mind around what had happened to me. And now I'm fully functional again. My feet don't hurt. I can stand. I don't have back problems. I'm hiking,
Wow.
I can hike up a 13,000 foot mountain now. So I mean, it's just, so for those of you listening, whether you have fibromyalgia or you have back issues or you have hip issues or
Hmm.
you've got shoulder issues or, whatever the case may be, yoga is like really it's like the perfect type of exercise for you because it's good for
Absolutely.
stress, it's good for your mindset, it's good for your physiological body.
Hmm. And I think most importantly, what people need to understand, there is not a magic pill out there that's going to take care of stress, anxiety, or depression. It'll mask it and cover it up, but you actually need to heal from the inside out.
That's right. It takes time, and it's only going to work if you work it.
Yes.
You can't just sit around and expect this magical change to happen. Like,
Right.
you have to take action, and you have to put the effort in every single day,
Right.
just like you would with anything else in your life. If
Right.
you want to see a change, you've got to do it. You have to be consistent with it every day.
Right.
You owe it to yourself.
This would be the perfect New Year's resolution for 2020 is take control of your life. No more stress, no more anxiety, no more depression, and just work on a brand new you throughout the new year.
That's so beautifully said. You can have the life you want. You have the power and the ability to
Yes.
step out of wherever you are and step into something new. You can recreate yourself
Hmm.
anytime that you're ready to do that. You
Yes.
have the ability to do it. You're not stuck where you are. So just know that 2020 can be the year that you want it to be. Start dreaming about what you want instead of focusing on what you don't like about your life.
Right.
Write it down, do your gratitude journal every
Hmm.
day, and start doing things differently. Walk down a different path. What does it look like for that
Right.
person that is healthy and happy and has come through that journey and come out the other side? What are they doing? You want to emulate what they're doing, and you want to start doing what they're doing, because if you start taking a different path and doing things differently, then you're going to get a different result.
Right. And don't be afraid to block someone that is bringing drama into your life from your cell phone, from Facebook, from whatever.
You can love them from a distance.
Absolutely.
You can love them
Absolutely.
from a distance.
Okay, Dr. V, thank you so much. Our next week's topic will be one that's very popular with everyone that has eaten too much throughout the holiday season. We will be discussing detox and weight management.
Nice. Can't wait.
Mhm. So, thank you for tuning in, and thank you, Dr. V.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Please support our sponsor, renovationtea.com. You'll find a large variety from daily to specific herbal remedy teas, all certified organic and fair trade. Use DL10 to get a 10% discount. You can find details in the description below. If you like what I'm doing, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you won't miss an episode.